Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Wayward Dragons, where we're going to talk about cleansing things through smoking them out.
Yep. We are going to be talking about smudging and what certain herbs mean when you smudge them, because not every herb and plant has the same properties. Obviously, like when we talked in our salt episode, not every salt has the same properties. But before we begin, how are you?
I am okay, I guess. I'm kind of in mourning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost a close friend.
Well, I lost a friend. We weren't like super, super close, but it's someone that I've known for, you know, actually, I think I knew Jack longer than I've known you, I think.
Okay.
But it's so time
Yeah.
wise, I've known him a while, but like it's a lot of our long term listeners have heard me talk about Dragon Con and all sorts of other stuff like that. And
Yeah.
he's one of my group at Dragon Con,
Yeah.
or was. I mean, he'll always be part of the group,
Yeah.
but so it's one of those things. You have certain people you see and associate with a certain
Yeah.
thing, and they're no longer there. So
Yeah. Well, you get
it's
excited
a whole
of like you get to go and you get to see
thing.
your
Yeah,
people, and it sucks when you go to the thing and something's missing.
yeah.
There's a piece missing. So
Yeah. Well, we all kind of those of us who, there's like the group that was super close to him, and there's the group of us that, we know him, we knew him, uh, not as well as a lot of the other people, but we are all in agreement that our lives are definitely better for knowing him.
yeah.
So, but that's a whole other thing. How are you? How are things?
Good. Good. Changed my name. That was a lot simpler.
So your name is no longer Kelsey.
Yes, correct. Yes. Yeah, no, I changed my last name. Um, for any listeners that live in the US and you're getting your name changed for the first time, make, and I'm going to say this, if I could say this in capital letters, I would make an appointment with the Social Security office, and it goes 10 times smoother. Because
I didn't even know that's something you could do.
yeah, so you have to go down. So you go down to the Social Security office with your copy of your marriage certificate, and you have to fill out an application. So you have to say like your name. It's the same information on the marriage certificate. So I have to say my mother's maiden name, and
Huh.
my old name, my new name, and my address. I have to make sure my address is correct. And in about 2 weeks, you get your new card. And I had to get my tags. So I was like, well, we're only doing this thing once. So, because I hate going to the B&V. So, because my boss sent me something for my retirement in my new name. And if you change your name for your license renews, you have to go back anyway when your license renews. So I got to do this all again in a year when I got to renew my license. So that sucked.
So in other words, what you're saying is don't get married until right before you have to legally get a new license. That way you can just do it all at once.
Yes. Learn from my
That's what I'm hearing.
mistakes. Learn. Also go to the B&V really early. I was there at like 9 o'clock this morning. So yeah, that's the only thing is I got to go back and renew my license in a year because the lady kept going, well, my camera's making this come out fuzzy. And I'm like, I really don't care because I have to come back in a year and get this done anyway, according to the lady. Like, I really don't care how this looks anyway.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah. Yeah, it's a little weird changing my name. It's something I've held on to because of my grandma. And due to my grandpa being a dick once again, changing my name felt very good in a weird way. It's very bittersweet. Um, So yeah, it's it's a weird moment today. I had a little weird moment. It's like, I feel very happy that I'm finally, my new name. But because you feel like you're letting go. I felt like I was letting go of
Yep.
something in a weird way. But yeah, it was very simple. It was a lot. Now I have to go and change everything. Um, so this is gonna be fun. And I feel bad because I just got a new debit card. So I gotta get a new debit card. Damn. Like you don't realize how much your name's attached to something until you have to sit and think about all what your name's
Things you have to
all what
say.
you have to change your name on. I'm like shit.
Yeah, I can
Shit.
see that.
So and um I don't know if I don't know who all watches the news. But we did lose a Lord of the Ring actor over the weekend, which is very sad. On the Lord of the Rings pages. So we lost King Theoden. Um at 79. His family hasn't released what he passed of, which is fine. It's their information. But I find it very ironic in a funny, really funny way. Um, the Lord of the Rings pages I was a part of, I'm a part of, um, they're now saying, oh shit, Carl Urban's character, what for the name is not there right now, but they were saying King whatever because I mean technically Theoden does die in the movies and he does die in the book. So he does become
Yeah.
king. So I thought it was very funny. And touche, sir. Touche.
Yeah. And a morbid sort.
Yeah, it's one of those like it's a little too soon for that, but yeah, you could be with Bilbo and the actor that played Bilbo, I think. Yeah. Um so yeah, that was kind of sad to open up Facebook on Sunday morning and see that he was gone. And then I open Instagram and the hobbits have got a dinner together again, which always makes my heart skip a beat. Oh, they're so funny. Um, Bubby, go lay down. So, yes, so in this episode is going to be a little um controversial for some people. Um, we're going to say this now before we get into this episode. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to be talking about a lot of plants. Now, it is not culture appropriation if you are using said thing how that culture would use it. So, as long as you are burning sage or Palo Salto for the reasons that they should be burned in the first place, that is not culture appropriation. That's using it for its intended purpose.
Yeah. Fun thing about language, guys, is that it changes. And I know we get upset about that sometimes, but language does change and language does evolve.
Yes.
And it's something that we need to, as a culture, deal with. And I'm not saying, like, hey, you can be disrespectful to a culture or a
No,
people.
don't do that.
That's not what we're saying at all. But, stuff changes, stuff
Yeah.
evolves. That's how we as people grow.
Yeah. I mean, don't burn the product. Don't burn. I mean, don't burn the item for shits. Burn it for its intended purpose. Also, source it from the right people. Don't just buy it willy-nilly. Buy it from, if you want to use sage or Palo Santo, buy it from an indigenous person. Buy it from the right source, but as long as you're using it for its intended purpose, it's not culture appropriation. I hate when people all over TikTok and stuff are like, that's culture appropriation. You
First off, cultural appropriation isn't even the proper term for what they're trying to say.
no.
They're trying to say cultural misappropriation, which is when you misappropriate something. In other words, using it incorrectly,
Yes.
using it in a derogatory or hurtful manner,
Yeah.
or using it with just complete ignorance. Educate
Yeah.
yourself. That's
Yes.
the core of why we started this podcast is for education,
Yes.
to educate ourselves, to educate others,
Yes.
to share knowledge.
Yes. Because smudging has been around. Smudging and burning of incense has been around for a very, very long time. And like I smudge myself. I smudge my husband. I smudge my cats and my dog on a in my home on a regular basis. And I have multiple different kinds of plants depending on what I feel needs to happen. Like, depending on what I'm feeling. Like if I feel like I've been in kind of a really negative thing, all right, I need to get the Palo Salto out. Like, but if it's just kind of a normal, like the monthly thing, I've got dragon's blood. I've got some stuff with lavender. I've got actual sage. Like I've got different things for different things. Like, but I use it for its intended purpose, and then I let it sit and I let it burn out. Once I'm done, I let the embers burn, but I don't let it burn for shits. I light it, do my cleansing, put it out as best as I can, put it by a window so it can keep doing its thing, but I'm not burning it just to burn it. Like,
Yeah.
ugh, drives me nuts. I see that all over like my Instagram reels and like my Facebook reels, and it's like, so yes, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to go through a lot of different plants, a lot of different things. We're mainly just going to be talking about different properties of plants, though, for smudging purposes. Smudging purposes. Um, Throughout human history, aromatic plants have been used in the daily activity of people from every culture, from every walk of life. Um, for example, people in Catholicism, they use incense in prayer. So, like the priests that walk up and down the aisles. Um, as time has passed, this connection between people and plants has been forgotten over time. We're drifting farther away from these practices and this knowledge. And I think that's where part of this comes in today with people saying it's cultural appropriation, that we're misusing stuff. And we're not connecting to the information in the right way. Not everyone's fully educating themselves on that. Um, the act of smudging is done with a smudge bowl. So there's the little, like a ceramic bowl, or an abalone shell. I have an abalone shell that I walk around with. Um, you can also use like charcoal if you're using like resin or a charcoal tablet. Um, you just have to be careful when you're using like charcoal and charcoal tablets that you put it in something that will not overheat or burn. I personally don't like charcoal or charcoal tablets. I feel like they make my house smell like lighter fluid, no matter how much resin I put on that. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. Um, and then smudging can also be done with smudge sticks. And then sometimes like a feather or a fan is used to help disperse the smoke from the smudge stick around you, yourself, or your room if that's what you're doing. Um, Let me go over here and let me see. Smudge ball. What does that look like? Oh, yeah. Okay, I was right. Okay, sorry. Um, so normally, if you're going to cleanse yourself, one, if I'm going to smudge myself, I actually go outside. Two, if you're going to be smudging your home in or place of business or whatever, make sure a window or door is open. And it can just be open a crack and it just has to be one, but you need to make sure that something is open of any form. And your chimney does not count. It needs to be some form of door. I use my kitchen window. I can crack that open a little bit because I have cats that love the window. But if I'm doing just myself, I just step outside and smudge myself outside. If I just feel that way. I don't know if you're supposed to do like a prayer or something before you start smudging. I just go ahead and go for it.
it kind of all depends on
I was like,
tradition that you're
that's what I was about to
bringing
say.
it to.
Like,
Yeah,
because in the website I found, teosherb.com, they talk about going in the 7 different directions. But that's, I've never heard of that, but it kind of sounds like it sounds like it's an indigenous thing just because of the
that is
wording.
an
Just because of the wording. So I just go ahead and go for it. I have a torch that I found from Home of the Depot. So that's what I got. So now we're going to talk about the different properties of herbs. Different things mean different things. And what is this website called? JaneLuna.com. They have an article that's 30 different herbs. Um, so we'll just kind of like aspen. Aspen is traditionally used for protection, and the essential oils and leaves work as a type of anxiety reducer. It burns quickly, so you can add like because of that you can add like the aspen essential oil to a smudge spray. I don't know what that means. Um,
They have cleansing sprays that are basically like essential oils and stuff that instead of lighting something on
you
fire, they
can
use,
do that instead.
there, and it's basically the essence without burning it because, places that don't really
Yeah,
do burn stuff in your workplace and you're doing it. It's,
yeah. Like I have aura sprays. I have different aura sprays. Is it something?
it's similar concept.
Okay, okay. Okay. So maybe if you have an allergy, if you're one of those people that can't do smoke, have bad asthma, maybe that's something you can look into. Or maybe adding the oil to moon water because you can also cleanse your home and yourself with your moon water.
Or if you live in like an apartment complex or you rent a place that doesn't allow you open flames inside and all sorts of other crap like that.
Yep. Um. So we will talk about sage. So we'll talk about sage first. So the use of sage is for healing. The smoke is used to bless, cleanse, and heal the person or object being smudged. Is to wash off the outside world when somebody enters a ceremony or a sacred space. So before you are performing a ritual of any form, or if you are going up to your altar to do practice of any form, this is what you would use that more for. Um, I mean, you can use different forms of the plant. There's different types of sage. The next one, oh, excuse me, is cedar. Cedar is a medicine of protection. Cedar trees are very old and they're very wise, powerful spirits. Um, Cedar is often used to cleanse a home or apartment when you're first moving in. This is to um, basically tell unwanted or uninvited spirits to leave and to protect the person moving in and the place of unwanted influences. Ju- the junipers are not truly cedars. That's okay. That's something totally different. Um, you have sweet grass, also known as holy grass or vanilla grass. This is normally like braided. Um, and this would bring in the blessing of Mother Earth and all of her love. Um, it is burned to remind us of the essence of the feminine, Mother Earth. It provides us with everything that we need. It can be unbraided, or trimmed with scissors into small pieces, and sprinkled over charcoal tablets if that's what you're doing. Lavender, this is a popular one. This is often used for invitation of the spirits. This is in ancient times, lavender was an important herb used in mummification. Interesting. Copal, I actually have copal resin. This is a tree sap from Mexico. It's very, very similar to frankincense, which I also have. It is a gift pleasing to the gods because opal is the blood of trees. It is offered to honor the enormous gift given to us by all of the tree people of our planet. This is best done on charcoal. Like I said earlier, I'm having a hard time liking charcoal to burn resin. It makes my whole house smell like
I have like some charcoal diskettes that I have that I'll because I have a sensor
yeah.
and I'll put like loose leaf incense in there and some blends and I'll use charcoal diskettes for that.
I was like, I have the discs, but it makes the whole house smell like I'm trying to light a charcoal grill. Like,
What are you burning with it though? Are you just burning the diskette?
yeah. Well, I'm burning like
No.
well, no, I'm burning like frankincense and copal because I have that, and it makes my whole house smell like I'm trying to light a charcoal grill.
Weird.
Yeah,
You'll have to send me what brand you have because that may be the issue.
it was. I had like a little disc here on my thing that I burned incense in, and I cracked it. I dropped it and cracked it, but it came with that. That's what I bought it for.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to find like a better brand because the brand that got sent with that was just not good.
Yeah, it could be the brand.
So
I mean, the one I have, the brand I have smells a little bit like charcoal, but not like a grill.
yeah, this one smells like a grill. It's not pleasing. Um, frankincense at one time, both frankincense and myrrh were considered to be more valuable than gold. It was used to embalm bodies. This tree resin is considered to cleanse and protect the soul. Frankincense became very important to most every major religion in the world, and is used in many other religious ceremonies. It is said to ease depression and promote clairvoyance. Best on charcoal tablets. Myrrh. This is said to open one's state of enlightenment. It also connects you to one of the spirits of youth and clears the path of debris that stands in the way of one's truth. That's cleansing feather. Red willow bark. That's not. This is not helpful now. Let's see. Rosemary. Rosemary is known to be soothing, and encourages a sense of peace within your environment. It also removes negative energy from places and spaces. This is something, if you have a sage bundle, you can add it. So if you're growing it in your garden, dry some out and add it to your sage bundles. Lemongrass. Lemongrass is for purifying. Is known to have amazing energizing scent. It's lemongrass. How could you go wrong? And it helps promote clarity and focus. We already talked about sage here. Cinnamon. It's known for increasing energy, welcoming luck and prosperity, motivation, and helps in aids of healing. Blue spruce. This is a very rare. It's the least common use for smudging, but it's a very welcoming thing. It helps promote, grace, nobility, serenity type thing. Cedar. Um, we've already talked about that. Eucalyptus.
Yep.
Promotion, protection, health boosting, as well as being energizing for cleansing. Bay leaves, healing and calming to success and victory. Bay leaves also have. Bay leaves is what you use if you want to manifest. If you want to manifest something, you can write it and burn the bay leaf. We've already talked about lavender, peppermint. It's just refreshing and smoothing. Pine, good for cleansing, protecting, for good health and prosperity. That's very soon. catnip. We can't burn catnip. We can't burn catnip in our house.
You don't want to get the cat's high?
That's why I grow catnip, but I can't burn it. I will totally dry some and send you some. But it's burned for love, beauty, happiness within the home or sacred space. Clove, drive away hostility, negative forces for psychics. This is like a big psychic enhancer. It also will help raise your vibration. I don't know why you would want to burn dill. That sounds vomitous. Um, luck traditionally during smudging. Dandelion. That's a new one.
Interesting.
Associated with the elements of air. She's for divination, spirit calling traditionally. Palo Salto. So this translates to holy wood. This is best used for deep healing and clearing energy.
Hollywood.
I was always told that Palo Salto clears the negative and keeps the positive, is what I was always told. I use that if I'm feeling extremely off, if I feel like maybe my husband has brought something home from work, because that has happened before. Basic general cleansing from my house is always done with my sage, one of my sage sticks. But if I'm feeling real funky and real weird, and the Palo Santo, and I've got a couple sticks of that. It does smell very citrusy. To me, it always makes the house smell like a fall campfire. That very specific, like when you have a bonfire like in the spring and the summer, it smells different than when it starts to get colder and you sit outside. Ginger, it's power protective. Calendula, purification. Basil, very potent concentration. Then fresh herbs, just a little bit of happiness. I think we're just getting weird now. Let's see if this list has any others. Honestly, your sage sticks are going to be just basic clearing. Different sage sticks, because there's like white sage and desert sage. They're going to have minorly different properties. It's going to still do what you want it to do. Different flowers, like I've been saying. If you don't feel comfortable using sage, there's tons of different on this lady's website that you can pick. Like lilac. Lilac is good to help ground you. Allspice is good to attract positive energy. If you're feeling really depressed, kind of help lighten the mood. Frankincense, if you want to just kind of help clear the house, that's a good one in general. Now, I have an abalone shell. What is it used for? Because I've never understood that. Oh, flame resistant bowl. Yeah, I've got a beautiful abalone shell. But yeah, you can mix and match herbs. You can make your own sage sticks if you're growing your own garden to kind of cut costs down and you know where it's coming from, kind of thing. If you feel a little bit better, growing out of your own garden, grow other herbs and kind of make your own. Like we've constantly said on this podcast, your practice is your own. You can do whatever you feel comfortable doing. I don't do things how Johnny does things, and Johnny doesn't do things how I do things. It's my practice.
The key is to be respectful
Yes.
and to be safe.
Yeah.
As should every avenue of your life. Be respectful and safe, and you do you, boo.
Yes. I lost my tarot card. So, like I've said,
in the deck.
I have different smudge sticks for different things depending on what's going on in my life. I have tons of different incense sticks because a lot of the herbs are in oils go into incense sticks, and those can help cleanse your house too if you want that. I don't personally, because I have my own home, I can do those things. Not everyone can do that. That's up to you. But I'm really protective over my house and the energy that I have in my house. So I cleanse on a regular basis.
Yep.
So, but that's just me. And I also deal with a lot of people. And my husband goes into people's homes. So, but let's,
Legally goes into people's
yeah,
homes.
yeah, being an HVAC.
He's just like walking around random people's houses. Just hilarious.
He was in a hoarder house the other week. Ugh, so gross.
I'm sure that was fun.
It's so gross. My husband's not a very small person either, so those are always the fun days for me, in a funny way, because it's my husband's a very big, not necessarily huge person, but he's a very husky, thick man. Um, and
Yeah, he.
and whenever he's stuck in a hoarder situation, it's always like have you ever watched Tommy Boy?
Yeah.
Okay, where he goes fat guy in a little coat. Like
Yeah.
that's how I always imagine my husband walking through like hoarder houses. It's just like very...
Well, for a reference, there's a thing going on right now because I don't know when in the future people will be listening to this episode. There's a thing going on right now where some guys are getting upset that women are choosing bears over men. Well, Kelsey chose both a bear and a man.
My husband is so hairy. That beard. That man has a fantastic beard. But He's my shapoopy. As we were actually talking about this when we were leaving dinner. Because it's like my dad knows, I think both my parents know that I picked a person that'll definitely take care of me. Like I do not have to worry about that. Like, he got me. And he's also one of the manliest men I ever know. Friggin' built me a fucking craft room. Like, hello. Anything I ever want. Anything I ever want. All right. Figures it out. I'm like, you go, dude, because I would have gave up on my ass a long time ago. Great. Thanks.
Guys, it is time for us to do
Yes.
card
Whoa.
readings.
Okay, yeah. So I got the King of Swords. What did you get?
I have passion, which is also known as strength, depending on the set you're looking at. For some reason, mine calls it passion, but most refer to it as strength.
That's interesting. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. This card represents strength, determination, and power, like the chariot. However, while the chariot signifies outer strength and will, the this card speaks to the inner strength and the human spirit's ability to overcome any obstacle. It is about knowing you can endure life's obstacles. You have great stamina and persistence. Balance with underlying patience and inner calm. You are committed to what you need to do, and you go about it in a way that shows your composure and maturity. When this card appears in a reading, you are fueled by your inner strength, personal power, strong will, and determination. You do not rule by trying to control others, you quietly influence and persuade. Others may underestimate your power because it is so quote unquote invisible, but you should see that as an advantage. You can control a situation without excessive outward force. No one knows it's you calling the shots.
Okay. Sorry for my snapping. My cat was trying to get into my air fryer.
No comment.
You can't see her, but my kitten, I have a bucket air fryer, right? Which is behind me, but it doesn't have the bucket in it. And she was trying to get into the empty hole. Sorry. All right. So I pulled the King of Swords. So we got keywords: head over heart, discipline, and truth. We meet the King of Swords as he is called upon, enact upon some great official matter, one that will involve many people, that will affect many people involved. When we see him, he seems a bit distant and reserved. This is because he is one who knows how to separate his heart from his head, for that is part of his daily function, as one must be fair. He cannot let himself feel too much, for his duty calls for him to be analytical and logical. That does not mean that he is devoid of feeling, for the reason he keeps himself distant is to protect himself. To see him in a reading is a call to remain a bit detached and distant for what is required. Will need clarity of mind, mental discipline is needed. I know when to hold back and when to act.
So, in other words, know what you're good at and know how to properly use what you have at your disposal, but do it in a way where you're not being overbearing and controlling.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
In other words, you do you, boo.
Yeah. Stay in your lane.
Again, just be respectful and don't be a dick.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay. This is one time where you need to stay in your lane. Yeah. This just reminds me why I distance myself from certain people in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I get reminded why. They show up. I am reminded why I stay in my bubble to begin with. Like,
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you for reminding me. But this concludes this episode. Join us next normal episode, where you're doing an episode on a cryptid.
Uh-huh.
Which I don't know. It's mystery cryptid, everybody. I have no idea what it's going to be about. It's a surprise.
It'll be a fun one.
It's going to be a surprise for me and you. Woo! So, yeah. Please rate, view, subscribe. Please, please, please tell a friend. Please join us on Facebook and Instagram if you have a topic recommendation.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
But the brain is not commuting today. If you have a topic recommendation, book recommendation, or because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, if you just need someone to talk to because you don't have anybody else to talk to, please email us at thewaywarddragons@gmail.com. And if you want to join me on Fable to kind of read alongside the books that I am reading, please join me on Fable. I am the Wayward Daughter. And you can join me there for all book-related things. It's an awesome Goodreads meets Facebook. So yes, so until next time.
I'm Johnny.
And I'm Kelsey.
I don't know why I saluted. The way last time I saluted.
I know.
I am mentally done.
Bye.